Wild Spidey Moments Part 23. Comment an interesting Spidey fact that you think others may not know. Last we left off, Mr. Popchick, Aunt May's tenant, was assaulted in an alley, but Spidey came to his rescue. The thugs got off free thanks to Daredevil's pro bono work. We also saw the death of Captain Jean DeWolf and Judge Horace Rosenthal at the hands of the Sin Eater, who is now on the run. Through a crowd of people in the street, he says, "Those who do not live in sin have nothing to worry about." Thankfully, Peter is nearby with his aunt and Mr. Popchick, and swings into action. In dodging the scatter spray of pellets, though, many innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire. Few would later succumb to their injuries. This sends Peter into a rage. He starts beating on the scum. The crowd begins to cheer him on, goading him to end the man's life. That's when he sees it. On Sin Eater's belt, all tied up, presented as trophies, the gavel of Judge Rosenthal and the badge of Jean DeWolf. I was pretty sure Peter was going to end the man right there and then, but something else caught his eye. Something more important. Through the crowd, we could see Aunt May on the floor, unconscious. Pete lets Sin Eater escape as he checks on his aunt. Lucky for everyone involved, especially the criminal, Aunt May was alright. Later, Pete runs by the station for another chat with Sergeant Carter. Carter gives Spidey quote-unquote permission to peruse the deceased DeWolf's apartment, and reveals he used to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. At the apartment, no further evidence is found except for an envelope full of what seems to be Captain DeWolf's own Spidey compilation. After all this time, she loved him as much as we do, maybe even more. We'll never get to find out, though. We flash this time to a church. Within it, a priest with a great weight on his shoulders, a weight that would soon be removed. Yet another victim in this story at the hands of the Sin Eater. Our heroes have had it with this guy. They both get to work beating information out of New York's criminal underbelly. One lowlife compares Spider-Man's rage to that of when he was out looking for Master Planner. See part 3 of my Spidey stories for that one. Their investigations have not gotten them very far, so Pete turns to the Daily Bugle for distraction. Turns out, this was the best spot to be, as the Sin Eater barges in looking for J. Jonah Jameson. Quick on his feet as always, Pete takes a page out of Daredevil's book and throws a baton-like object from a nearby desk at the Fiend, somehow knocking him out in one hit. They unmask the culprit and reveal Emil Gregg, a doe-eyed young man with a history of mental health issues who claims the voices made him do it. Before long, though, Daredevil shows up and claims, "This ain't our guy. The heartbeat's completely different. It's gotta be a copycat." The two heroes go to Mr. Gregg's apartment to investigate, but find nothing until they notice a neighbor's door had been broken into. They search it and find exactly what they're looking for: the Sin Eater's hideout. Our heroes deduce the closet filled with shotguns, costumes, and recordings is right against where Emil Gregg slept. With his history of mental illness, it's possible the voice he had heard was really his neighbor recording himself. Emil only thought he was the Sin Eater, but that identity belongs to none other than Sergeant Stan Carter. The two-figure Carter must still be out hunting for Jameson, and will likely strike his residence. Spidey rings the Jameson home when Betty Leeds, formerly known as Betty Brant, answers. They try to warn Betty when a blast is heard through the phone, and our heroes rush to their aid. Tune in tomorrow to find out what happens next in part 24, Countdown to Spider-Man 2. Keep in mind, guys, I will be doing an unboxing of Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition when it comes out October 20th.